Hey, everybody, this is Joseph Hasek, and welcome to the Fired Up Network. Welcome to the On the Mat Wrestling Show, night 2 of WrestleMania with the Huge Pop Wrestling guys, Donnie Da Silva and Jimmy the Ref, who should be into the Hall of Fame. But we'll talk about that next year, hopefully, when the Hall of Fame gets to induct referees. But night 2, big night to start it off. Obafemi versus Brock Lesnar. Maybe Jimmy and Donnie, you should ask your guy who's going to be on Huge Pop the over-under for this match, 5 minutes or longer. Donnie?
Ooh. That's a good question. I think the fan consensus is that this will be very, very quick. I think if Brock is motivated to really make Obafemi win or lose, if he is motivated to make Obafemi, this will go more than 10 minutes. Because contrary to fan opinion, a squash match with Oba winning does not elevate Oba. It does momentarily, but not in the grand scheme of things. Right? When Braun Strowman squashed Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania, what did that mean to Braun Strowman? Absolutely nothing. People ate it up like it was a fluke. People looked at it like, oh, well, you squashed him because Brock Lesnar didn't want to do business with you. So he just said, beat me fast. So it means nothing. This has to feel like a competitive match in order for Oba to have that ascension.
And don't forget, it's going to be on ESPN proper, right? So the first night, ESPN2 and whatever, but this one's on ESPN. So it begins with Brock Lesnar and Obafemi. And I'm going to ask you, Donnie, since we started off with you, who you got in this match? Because that's the interesting thing, because rumors are going around that Brock Lesnar is probably going to retire at SummerSlam, another 2-night event at SummerSlam in August in Minnesota, his hometown. But his hometown now is in Saskatchewan because he likes the Rough Rider. Never mind. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, I still don't know about this Brock retiring at SummerSlam rumor. This all stemmed from a casual conversation that John Cena had with Chris Van Vliet, where he said, I could see Brock wanting to retire one day in his hometown. And then everyone's like, oh, Minnesota's going to have SummerSlam. That's where Brock's going to retire. And it just, now it's picked up so much momentum that everyone's treating it like it's a given. Brock will retire at SummerSlam. I'm not sure. Okay. The only thing that gives me pause is in recent interviews, Brock is talking like a man at peace. Brock is talking like he's done all he needs to do in this business. And if that's the case, then sure, maybe hang up the gloves. But Brock Lesnar is a guy that can be a money maker for the next 5 years, especially at the pace he works once or twice a year. He can still be a massive attraction. If you had asked me this, Joe, a month ago, I would have said that Oba does not need to win in order to be elevated, especially if the match was worked well. I'm now of the belief that with everything that they have put behind Oba, who is still very, very new to the WWE audiences, there will be a massive amount of people who are watching him wrestle for the very first time. So if his very first time that they're seeing him go out there, he loses, his trajectory just dove off a cliff. So I think he has to win.
I'm of the same.
I'm going to ask Jimmy who's his pick.
My pick.
Go ahead.
If you
because I have a feeling that it's going to be a squash.
Nope. It can't be a squash, because if it's a squash, you ruin all the momentum that Obafemi has built.
It's a double DQ.
No. There has to be a clear, decisive winner. And what you need from Obafemi is for him to be able to sustain an onslaught from Brock Lesnar. He has to beat the living crap out of Obafemi, and Obafemi has to show that he can withstand everything he's got and defeat the beast. And that being said, and now getting over to the topic of him retiring in Minneapolis, his hometown. Here's the issue, though. everybody's saying, okay, he's going to retire in his hometown of Minneapolis. And if that is indeed the case, he will get cheered out of the building. That is his hometown. They're going to love him there. So if they're going to go that route, some form or fashion, they have to do something leading up to that to make the people cheer him, as opposed to making him a heel and associated with Paul Heyman. He has to, maybe a way to do that is that Brock wants to face Gunther and show that Gunther is not the best. Show him that he thinks he could retire all these legends. He can't retire me. And Paul Heyman is pleading with Brock, do not do this. Gunther is a special kind of talent. Do not do this. Paul, get out of my face before I F5 you. And F you. And you know what? And maybe that would help the audience shift over to Brock. And then you have your babyface. He's going to get that reaction in Minneapolis at SummerSlam. And if it is indeed the case where he's going to retire, now you have it. At least you have a clear and defined babyface and heel.
And you know what? To piggyback off of that, if you are building towards Brock hanging them up at SummerSlam, then your comment, Joe, about this being a double DQ or something else, it's impossible because there will be no time for a rematch. This is Oba's shot at Brock. There will be no rematch because Oba will not be the one to face Brock at SummerSlam because, to Jimmy's point, that crowd is going to cheer him like crazy. So you need a staunch heel on the other side of the ring. What I could actually see is this. I could see Brock losing to Oba, showing up on an episode of Monday Night Raw with a major announcement and declaring right there on Raw he's done. 10 years ago, I would have destroyed Oba Femi, and that kid is what I used to be. That kid is what I used to be. And I don't have it anymore. And since I don't have it anymore, it's time to go. And then out comes the ring general. And the ring general says, you're a pussy. You're a coward. You're not leaving because Oba beat you. You're leaving because you know I'm next. Now you have.
Well, they already have.
Wait, he calls
They already
himself
have
the next
sort of the main
big
event
thing.
for SummerSlam. Then, yeah.
What was that, Jimmy?
Wasn't Brock's initial the next big thing?
Yes.
Yes.
You're no longer the next big thing. I am now the next big thing. You are the next. You are the next one to hang him up or so. You don't know. You know.
Yeah. For sure.
Yeah. I like that.
That would cook.
That would be great. And that sets up, like I said, the next big pay-per-view or premier live event, SummerSlam. Now, the next match, really, I don't know why they put Rey Mysterio in this match. There was question about.
You don't know why.
Again, I know why, but okay. So go ahead, tell them the theory here. The Intercontinental title match is a ladder match. Penta, Javon Evans, who's going to steal the show. JD McDonough, who's going to do also great things on the show. Dragon Lee, Rusev, and Rey Mysterio. Go ahead, Jimmy.
Well, it's a hell of a lineup. I almost, like I was talking to Don, we were talking on Huge Pop. I almost want to see Rusev come out of this with the IC Championship. I think that would be interesting, but I almost got a feeling I want to see how Javon Evans handles himself as a young, what is he, 22 now?
Yeah. Yes.
A 22-year-old. Would that make him the youngest Intercontinental Champion ever? I'm assuming.
Oh, maybe.
I can't think of anybody who was younger that held the title.
Pat Patterson said he was only 15, so I don't know.
Well, yeah, but I don't remember that tournament in Brazil very well. But anyway,
it's a little foggy. It's foggy.
Yeah, it's a little foggy. That being said, you brought up Rey Mysterio, and that makes me now think that why not Rey Mysterio? Why not Rey Mysterio one last time, Intercontinental Champion, and then after Gunther is done with Seth, if Seth is going to move on with Braun Breaker, You need something for Gunther. And Gunther could come out and say, Rey Mysterio, I held that championship. I was the greatest Intercontinental Champion of all time. I held it longer than anybody else, blah, blah, blah. You don't deserve that championship. I am going to prove to the world that I'm still the ring general, and you know what? And it could be title versus career or whatever. And he retires Rey Mysterio, and that's the next guy on the list of people that he retires.
I think he's going to get retired, and he's good. I think he's going to win, but I think he'll lose the title to Dom, and I think he'll lose the title and probably retire also around SummerSlam, pay-per-view after, pay-per-view before, whatever. Because remember, Rey Mysterio is already inducted in the Hall of Fame, and he was supposed to be retired last year.
Says who?
So, well, once you're inducted in the Hall of Fame, you're usually retired.
They inducted him in the Hall of Fame because that was a year they wanted a headliner and they didn't have a great headliner.
Yeah.
That's why they inducted him. It's not because they wanted him to put his boots away. Rey Mysterio retires when Rey Mysterio says it's time to retire. There was none of this notion that's out there that he was supposed to retire last year, supposed to retire. None of that is legit. Yeah. Rey retires when Rey is ready to retire. I know from talking to people that are close to Rey, he feels ready to retire. The body is breaking down. Mm-hmm. Okay. And it's becoming harder and harder, not to go have a match, harder and harder to recover. And I firmly believe he will retire. I don't think it happens. I don't think it happens before Brock Lesnar. I don't, especially if the Brock Lesnar thing is happening at SummerSlam. I think you space it out. And I think maybe it goes towards the end of the year. I don't know. You could argue Brock is the bigger one, but Brock is also not the last one. There will be others that get retired. So I don't see them happening close together because I feel like that gives a really weird sort of stigma of, everyone's leaving, everyone's retiring. So I think you spread it out a little bit. But in terms of your question that you asked, Joe, like, why is Rey in this match? There's about 100 reasons. One, he's a legitimate threat to win it.
Yep.
Two, he's an experienced hand in this type of match. Three, none of the guys in this match are household names. None of them. So you add star power with Rey Mysterio. That's a big reason why he's in this match. Okay. All of the other guys, with the exception of Penta, all of the other guys would not even have a WrestleMania match if it wasn't for this ladder scramble. So Rey is in there to add star power. All that being said, I think the popular money is on Javon Evans but my pick, Zero Miedo, retains.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Then we go to Rey Mysterio's son. Rey Mysterio's son, Dominic Mysterio, versus the Demon, Finn Balor, Donnie.
Oh, Dom's getting destroyed. Yeah.
All right, the Jimmy.
Destroyed.
Well, I don't know about destroyed, but I'm picking Finn Balor in this one. You know, why bring out the Demon character if he's not going to win?
Yeah, exactly.
Bottom line.
Okay.
And Dom does not get hurt by this. He has nuclear heat, and that's just not going to hurt him.
All right. U.S. title, Sami Zayn versus Trick Williams. I'm going to go to Jimmy first. Jimmy, are you surprised Dragunov and Carmelo are not involved in this match? And do you think one or both of them would be involved or can be involved in this match?
If I had to pick one, it would probably be Mello, because he's the one that's been prominent on television, and they're emphasizing the fact that he doesn't have a match on WrestleMania. So if you're going to keep the title on Sami Zayn, then I figure one of them has to get involved. I'm assuming Mello. But if you do want to put the U.S. Championship on Trick Williams, then I don't think either one of them should get involved. and this could be the precipice for the quote unquote double turn that everybody's talking about, because Trick Williams is just, when you talk about over, when they send him his paycheck, it doesn't have his name on it. It just says OVER on it.
All right, Donnie.
Hang on, I'm calling 1-800-TRICK.
What's that trick?
I think that there are two, and again, sometimes with these predictions, Joe, I talk myself out of what I believe is obvious because I'm booking it in my head. The obvious choice is anoint Trick Williams and put him over, right? That's the obvious choice. The other option here is you have Sammy and Trick do what Jimmy explained, the double turn. Sammy decides, you know what? To hell with the fans. I don't have any more ride or dies. You've all turned your back on me. So you know what? This set of whatever, this brick that I found at ringside, I'm gonna hit Trick in the face with it, and then the crowd is booing, they're hot, they understand the message. Sammy is now truly descended into heeldom. If the goal from the WWE is to cement Sammy as a heel, 1,000% he should retain. Mm-hmm. And the reason I say that is rule number one of being a heel: find out what the audience wants and don't let them have it. They want Trick to win. So if you want Trick to win, then you make Sammy retain, and then Sammy's the biggest heel, and you can run this program back until Trick does get it. And Sammy will have promos to absolutely inflate this feud, right? He can be like, oh, I'm Mr. Can't Get the Job Done. Huh, Trick? What did you do on the biggest stage of them all? I told you, I'm a WrestleMania main eventer. You weren't ready. You were too busy partying with Little Yachty. You were too busy worrying about your outfits. And then you lost. That, to me, is the more compelling story. If you want to strike while the iron is hot, much like the Oba situation, you put the title on Trick, and now you've got two contenders waiting for him with Carmelo and Ilya. There's two completely distinct ways they can take this. Mm-hmm. And with the rumors of Kevin Owens returning, I don't know if Kevin Owens will be medically cleared for action soon or ever. But even if he is in a non-active capacity, if Kevin Owens is returning to TV, he is the perfect person to get in heel Sammy's face. Like, what the hell are you doing?
Right.
That should be interesting to see what they do. Now for the WWE Ladies Championship, Jade Cargill defends against Rhea Ripley. Donnie, give me your prediction.
I think that if Rhea Ripley wins, I will eat my hat.
Can we do it here on the Fired Up Network?
No, I'll be at Jimmy's house. I don't think there's a chance in hell of Rhea Ripley winning this match. As much as that's what everyone wants, again, this goes to my booking logic of what does everybody want? Now don't let them have it. And Jade has proven over the last number of months that in ring, she can hold her own. And I feel like the breadcrumb story they've been laying that a lot of people don't seem to be picking up on is Io Sky is going to fuck Rhea. Io Sky is going to cost her the title. Asuka getting in Io's face on Monday Night Raw saying, last year you went to WrestleMania as the champion. Now you're Rhea's sidekick. Oh, she didn't like that. She didn't like that. And that's a real easy story to tell. I was convinced for the last 6 months that they were going to do Rhea versus Io at Mania. They didn't get there. So, okay, maybe you're going there afterwards. But I think Jade retains, and I think she deserves to retain. Jim?
I think she deserves the opportunity to really make a case and a long title run. The reason why Rhea is in this match versus Jade Cargill is for one reason and one reason only, is to give her the best possible match at WrestleMania on the grandest stage of them all. That's why she is in this match. Rhea is hugely over. Everybody knows she's probably the most popular women's talent on the roster, arguably. So if you want to get Jade over as a heel, who do you put her up against? Your biggest babyface on the women's roster, and you give her the opportunity to have to really shine and accentuate her pluses and try to minimize her negatives, for lack of a better term. So I see Jade retaining here, and I'm trying to think about this Ia turning on her.
It's spicy. It's spicy.
It is spicy. Despite what people say and think, is the best wrestler in the world. I don't know where that came from, but anyway, I do know where it came from, but it should go back to where it came from. I bottom line, I see Jade retaining.
All right, for the main event for the title, CM Punk versus Roman Reigns. Now, they had great conversation. Well, I'm going to say conversation between, they built it up and all that. But either way, CM Punk wins. He'll keep the title and all that. Then where's Roman Reigns? Because we know Roman Reigns only shows up for WrestleMania season and then takes 2 months off and then comes back and all that. So I'm going to go with Jimmy in this one first. What do you see as this is the showstopper, the last match of the 2-night affair? So something has to happen. What do you see happening?
I see Punk retaining because Punk is, to put it bluntly, he is the full-timer Roman Reigns. He's not there all the time. And you know what? People can complain about it all they want, but hey, you know what? CM Punk carried the load mostly in this. You talked about conversations. They weren't conversations. Other than the first interaction they had, this has been a one-way conversation. Punk has just been the one who's carried the workload and getting people interested in this thing. When you talk about talking people into the building, talking people in front of their television sets, Punk is the guy. And Punk seems to be in a good place when it comes to being there, coming to work every week. He genuinely seems like he's enjoying himself. So I don't see any reason to change things now. And I don't see any reason to take the belt off him at this point. If you're going to have someone beat him for the title, have someone who's going to benefit from it. Roman Reigns doesn't benefit from winning this championship.
Donnie?
This one is tough for me. And if you ask me this same question an hour from now, I'll probably have a different answer. So I will probably change my mind 76 times before this match happens. If any of my previous predictions for night 2 are true, Roman is winning the title because everyone is not going to retain. So if all my other predictions are true, Roman is winning. I agree with what Jimmy's saying about they don't want a part-timer with that world title. I agree with that. However, something I have learned is Roman is scheduled to be on Raw after WrestleMania.
Yeah.
So one way or the other, the world champion will be on Raw the next night. And there's a lot of ways this can go. And one thing that just dawned on me is imagine this scenario. Roman wins. Maybe he wins dirty because he's decided to go back to his tribal chief ways. And then he's in the ring celebrating, and all of a sudden you hear
if you're putting your sound effects on, or we don't know what.
Oh, you can't hear it?
It didn't come through.
No.
It didn't come through. It didn't come through.
What a rib. I was playing a song and I was saying, all of a sudden you hear the music of the Ruler, Oba Femi, hot off a win against Brock Lesnar, shows up against Roman and says, I am the ruler now. Put that title on the line tonight.
Mm-hmm.
And you end up
Well,
with
we are
a
missing
new
a match.
What's that?
On the first night, there's 7 matches, and the second night, there's 6 matches, and they are missing. If they want to go 14, which they say they want to go, they are missing a match.
No. I'm saying you do this on Raw. I'm saying you do it on Raw.
On Raw, okay.
Yeah, I'm saying you do it on Raw. And very similar to the booking of Brock Lesnar in his first year. Okay? He got the title way sooner than people thought he should have. And how did that work out? Pretty damn well. and who did he beat for the title? He beat Roman's big brother cousin. He beat The Rock. He beat one of the biggest names of all time. And so for Oba to go from beating Brock Lesnar to Roman Reigns in back-to-back nights, that's your new superstar. That's your new poster boy forever. That's your new icon. I could see that scenario.
And further to that, what if Oba comes out and wins the title, but because Oba has a problem talking, and Paul Heyman.
No, he doesn't. No, he doesn't.
He handled himself really good.
He does, but I'm saying, what if it with Paul Heyman?
No, he's over.
No.
Okay.
No.
You're going to kill everything he has. People love this guy. You bring him up with Heyman, they're going to be like, oh, come on, man.
Okay.
People are doing the strut. What would you call it, a strut? Is that what it is? What he does?
Yeah, he said he modeled it after Ric Flair.
All we need is Oba saying woo. Come on.
I no, there's no the Paul Heyman Easter egg that he gave one day, we can work together. Yeah, that's an Easter egg, and that's something that'll pay off down the road. You don't do that anytime soon. Okay. Oba is so hot. You literally have to go back to Brock Lesnar's rookie year to have a guy that was this hot. So you don't screw with that. And as far as I'm concerned, there's so many different ways you could go with Punk and Roman. The logic is Punk retains. That's the logic. If my stupid theory of Cody aligns with Pat McAfee to form a corporation versus WWE NWO type storyline, Roman wins and aligns with Cody and Pat McAfee. And maybe this is why CM Punk has been throwing out shots at Pat McAfee, because he actually gets involved in this match. They don't do things for no reason. People have made comments. Why is CM Punk worrying about McAfee? Maybe there's something there. So I think that the common belief is Punk wins. The other problem I have with this is that will be Roman's 3rd WrestleMania loss in a row. And I understand he is not at the point where he needs to win. I get it. But is that also what you want to do with one of your premier guys, is having him in that situation? He also spent most of the last 2 years just putting guys over. Like he hasn't really won a match in forever.
Right.
I don't know, man.
the other thing that you mentioned, and I don't know if maybe you guys remember the name, but isn't Cody and Roman doing a movie together?
Yeah, they already did. Oh, Cody and Roman? Yeah, they're in Street Fighter.
Yeah. So it sort of credence to what you're saying about Cody winning and sort of Roman joining the team there.
Well, that doesn't mean
Cody.
anything because Roman and Punk they were the Zebros. So
Yeah,
it
that's right.
doesn't mean
That's
anything.
right.
They're in Zootopia together and they hate each other. So
All right. So
yeah, I don't know. I feel like you could really flip a coin. I don't think this match is as cut and dry as everyone thinks. If you're really reading the tea leaves and trying to understand why does Punk keep making mention of Pat McAfee, not just on Monday Night Raw, but in all his media appearances this past week, he keeps bringing up McAfee. This is not accidental.
no.
I feel like there's got to be a reason why McAfee keeps getting mentioned.
I gotta pay attention to these media things because I did not realize that. I
But
thought he did the
TV
mention, and I know he did the mention on Monday Night Raw, but
Mhm.
I don't. I see. I gotta maybe check my phone more often.
He did an interview with Matt Barnes, the
Yeah.
Up in Smoke podcast.
Right?
And yeah, he talked a lot about Pat McAfee.
Hmm.
So I don't know, man. I'm torn on this one. I don't think it's as cut and dry. I don't know about my Obafemi prediction that he could win the title the very next night. I feel like that is as a long shot as there is, but hey, be bold with your thoughts. But I think the idea of Roman winning the title is not a long shot. To me, it's even money. Like this is 50-50 to me. You know?
Okay, so we previewed both nights. I'm gonna ask both of you guys: is there one match you must see on both nights card? One match from night one or night two. Jimmy, we'll start with you.
For me, night 2 is easy. Brock Oba.
All
That
right.
is the easy one for me. Night 1, I'm thinking more along the lines of Cody and Randy because I am so curious to see what they actually do. You know, people are going to say, yeah, but I don't want to see what's Pat McAfee involved. I don't care about that stuff. I am genuinely interested in seeing what the outcome is and how they get there.
Okay, what about you, Donnie?
It's hard, man. Like that's an easy answer because you could argue that Lesnar and Oba is the most anticipated WrestleMania match since Warrior Hogan. So that has to rank right up there. But the thing is, if you look at both cards for both nights, top to bottom, this on paper is the most stacked WrestleMania of all time. The worst match, I think, on both nights is AJ Lee versus Becky Lynch. That's the only match on both nights where I look at it and go, it's probably not going to be that good. In past years, you've got 3 or 4 matches where it's like, well, that's where I'm going to take a piss. Oh yeah, that's where I'm going to go get the Uber Eats at the door. You know, like there's always a few. Oh, there's a comedy match, and sometimes the comedy matches end up being really good, like Johnny Knoxville, Sami Zayn.
Yeah.
But there's usually a few matches where you're like, they just wanted to get these guys on the show, you know, so it's not going to be that great. Every match is fire. Like every match is fire. I think Gunther Seth is going to be amazing. I think Drew and Fatu is going to be amazing. I think Cody and Orton is going to be amazing. I think Roman and Punk is so intriguing on so many levels. Obviously, Brock and Oba. I think the ladder match is going to be an absolute freak show. I'm dying to see Trick Williams and the ovation he gets. Man, I don't know. I'm excited.
Forget the ovation. I want to see the entrance.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah.
There's this woman on Instagram who I can't remember her name. I'm so sorry. But anyway, lovely young lady. She plays the piano and she has started doing this thing where she takes famous songs and plays them on the piano. And she did something a while back where she started playing wrestling themes on the piano, and that got her massive traction, right? Like her reels just blew up. So she did one of Trick Williams playing his entrance on the piano, and the comments section went banana where they were all saying that should be his WrestleMania entrance, right? Wow. And even Trick commented himself. So I could see something cool like that, some orchestral piano type thing. Think back to TNA last year. I forget what pay-per-view it was when he had the choir that sang him out. Whoop that Trick, and then they went into the whole thing. I think he's going to have a massive production entrance.
Well, we should. It'd be interesting to see this. And before we finish it, in night one, I asked Donnie about the Raptors. So I'm going to ask him again. Raptors, Cleveland, 4-5 matchup in the Eastern Conference. And I'm going to say this, okay? I'm not going to say easier, but if the Raptors beat Cleveland, they probably played Detroit. And again, they don't play because they lost 12 in a row to the Knicks. They can never beat Boston. The Knicks and Boston probably will meet up against each other. Raptors, I'm not going to say have an easier road to the Eastern Conference final, but you know what I mean? Like, it's better than, playing the Knicks, who they can't beat, and Boston, who they can't beat.
Okay, first of all, there is no road to the Eastern Conference final. So we need to stop this. Like, Raptor fans, ever since 2019, they all get this thing in their head, like, are we winning the championship this year? No, this is a rebuild. Like, most prognosticators did not think they would even be sniffing at a playoff spot this year. Bill Simmons famously said, if you think the Raptors are going to be top 6 in anything this year other than most fun places to visit, then I'll bet you money right now. And I wish I had bet Bill Simmons.
He's sitting at ringside for WrestleMania, Bill Simmons.
Yeah, he's a tool. Anyways, here's the thing. There is no easy route. Cleveland is stacked, and Detroit, I don't care what anybody says, is the best team in the East. And this nonsense about they can't beat New York, they can't beat Boston. Yes, they can. Of course they can. They can absolutely beat those teams because they are both flawed teams. With Cleveland, I looked at ESPN's breakdown. They had their 12 basketball experts, and not one picked the Raptors to win. Not one. There was one who picked a 7-game series. There was a few that picked a 6-game series. Several picked a sweep. I don't see a sweep happening. Here's the thing. The Raptors had great regular season success against Cleveland. A lot of that was before they got James Harden. And James Harden is a weapon, but James Harden cannot guard me. James Harden cannot guard a dead body. James Harden could not guard his own shadow. So you combine that with the fact that Donovan Mitchell is not a good defender, and the Raptors love to attack, especially like this could be a huge series for RJ Barrett. I think Scotty Barnes could be massive in this series. Do I think they'll win? My heart says yes. My head says 7-game loss. Okay. Because Cleveland has so much scoring depth. But Scotty Barnes, who should be the defensive player of the year, Scotty Barnes has the ability to shut down any one of their weapons, but they have more weapons. So it's going to be really interesting to see how this gets figured out. The heart says Raps. The head says Cleveland should win. If Cleveland doesn't win, it's a massive failure for them. Like, they were projected to be number 1 or 2 in the East. This is already a failure for them to be 4. So, you know what? Fuck it. Raptors win. There you go.
Okay. There you go. See? And then if they play Detroit, what do you say?
That's a messy series. Detroit is damn good, man. And Detroit in the playoffs with that fan base, they're as wacky as Raptor fans. Yeah. That's a crazy house to go to in the playoffs, man. I don't know. Ask me if we get there. I don't want to predict shit right
And
now.
again, he's going to say F it. Don't give me the Raptors again. And that's what I said. Come on.
No, I don't know.
We can Eastern Conference Final, okay?
No, they're not. They're not good enough. They're not good enough to go that far. They're just not.
They're not. If they win the first round, that's all.
If they win the first round, I will. If they win the first round, I will legitimately throw a parade, because that is a massive success for them this season. Massive growth.
That is massive growth, and let's see what happens. We're in the playoffs. I'm like a hockey team here, but Donnie, tell everybody what they can hear on Huge Pop this week.
On Huge Pop this week, a whole bunch of cool stuff. Jimmy and I sort of breaking down the entire past week in professional wrestling, including the 17-hour pay-per-view AEW Dynasty. We also talk about TNA Rebellion that happened a week ago. We talk about SmackDown and Raw as we head into WrestleMania weekend. We give our WrestleMania breakdowns. We also share with you the odds, the betting odds, because one of the best bookmakers out there, Rafael Esparza, he joins us on the show and shares with us not just betting odds on the matches, but also some of the fun prop bets that are out there. Like how many German suplexes will Brock Lesnar hit? Who will be the first one to use a submission move in Roman versus CM Punk? Really interesting stuff, which is a lot of fun to bet on. And we also have a great interview with one half of the Killer Bees, B. Brian Blair. He is the president and CEO of the Cauliflower Alley Club. If you don't know what they are, I highly suggest that you figure it out and go to caulifloweralleyclub.org. And he has a massive announcement on this week's show regarding my man, Jimmy Corderas.
All right, that's a Huge Pop Wrestling Show. Check it out each and every week here also on the Fired Up Network. Now, Jimmy, any other sports that you want to touch? I gave Donnie his thing with basketball. Do you want to talk about your Tennessee Titans? Do you want to talk about where they're going to go in the draft?
No, I'm not talking about my Tennessee Titans. And well, it's a rough year for me. By the way, you know why the Hockey Hall of Fame is in Toronto?
Oh, here's this old punchline.
Here we go.
It's the only way that the Leafs will even see a Stanley Cup. Anyways, I'd at this point between the Titans and the Leafs, I'd rather watch roller derby. Put it back on TV.
I love roller derby.
I thought Donnie mentioned AEW. I thought you were going to mention the highlight. Camille coming back. Come on.
Why is she a highlight?
She's not a highlight. I'm just saying they're so big on Camille coming back.
They are big on Camille coming back? Why? Because she was on American Gladiators?
In his press conference.
But guess what?
We waited for this night.
Wait 2 weeks and get back to me.
He's going to forget she's there.
Yeah, I thought maybe a week. And you think here, all joking aside, the right thing to put Ricochet over Jericho?
Bad move. Wrong move. I'm sorry. Bottom line. There's not even a discussion here.
Yeah, it's stupid. It's not just Jericho. It's how many people have they brought into the company in the last little while as big time stars, big time game changers, and they've already lost their momentum. Like David Finlay.
Yeah.
Why is he losing on his first pay-per-view? What are we doing? And then you look across, and I'm not trying to do a tribalistic thing. This is strictly about booking philosophy. You look across to the competition, and one of the hottest properties in WWE has had exactly one match, and he is outselling 99% of the company in merchandise, and he was in AEW sitting on the shelf for 2 years, and that's Danhausen. It is strictly the difference of understanding how to use your talent.
Maximize their strengths and hide their weaknesses. That's all you got to do. It's not that difficult. It ain't rocket surgery. Anyway.
And Danhausen put a curse on AEW. All right. So, Jimmy, tell everybody how they could get a hold of you.
Easy on Twitter at Jimmy Corderas, on Instagram at Real Jimmy Corderas. You can catch me on Huge Pop with Donnie every week, like he said, and you can also catch me on Reffing It Up with Brian Hebner and Daniel Spencer. And of course, all my social media platforms, you'll see me and my Reffin' Rants every Monday through Friday, just giving a little opinion here and there.
And
just a disclaimer: the opinions expressed in my Reffin' Rants are mine and mine alone, and don't reflect Huge Pop or Reffin' It Up or my wife or anybody involved with me.
Yeah, but I always agree. So they're my opinions.
Okay, there you go.
And for you Raptor fans, if Donnie's right, I heard Bobby Webster. Give him a call. I'll give you his number, and let's see what we can do. All right. Enjoy WrestleMania night 1 and 2. Go ahead, Donnie.
No, I was going to say Bobby Webster can call me, but I ain't cheap.
No, he's not cheap. And I take 50% of me recommending him. So there you go.
You take 50% of this ass whipping. That's about it.
No, I won't get an ass whipping. I got a referee behind him, and that's it. All right. Enjoy WrestleMania. Thanks a lot, guys. Check out Huge Pop for a great big announcement by B. Brian Blair. Thanks, Jimmy. Thanks, Don.